Day is to give you an opportunity to speak with adults now that were in your shoes. What's the? We got 01 here, class 01, 05, 2017. So he's not too far away from you all. Cause we got we're 2019 now. So listen. Listen, these women, these men and women that's on this panel, they too were in your shoes. Actually, they can say because they actually went to Stone Mountain High School, graduated from Stone Mountain High School. So there's some questions that have been passed around. I mean, if you do have a question of your own, please let it be how can I say it, a valid question. I know they say in school they teach you there's no such thing as a dumb question. In certain situations like this it is. So let's be mindful, be respectful, okay? All right. So I want to say good afternoon, teachers, students, and our distinguished alumni. We'd like to thank you for agreeing to hold a panel discussion for our students. This will provide them with an opportunity to ask questions of Stone Mountain High School alumni. What's really exciting is that all of the people in this panel have been in your seats. Literally, I just said that. We will begin by asking each panel member to give a brief introduction of him or herself and current profession. After introductions, since we have such a large panel, I'll give a few guidelines for the 45-minute session. We are going to do, what we are going to do is ask questions or give students opportunities to ask questions. We will provide the panel members to give honest and thoughtful responses. Okay? Students, we just ask that y'all just listen and be respectful. I know some of y'all may not want to be here, but you may actually learn something. Our job only is to plant the seed. It's up to you, your family, to water that seed. Okay? All we can do is plant the seed. We would love to see the fruit grow, but we know that we may not. Just like their teachers did not see their fruit grow. Their teachers planted the seeds. Look at them now. Okay? You see your fruits? You see your fruits? All right. So I'm going to pass the microphone. I'm going to briefly introduce ourselves.
Hello, my name is Nikita Womack. I graduated in 2001. I'm an epidemiologist. I work at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I currently work with STD prevention, so I study infectious diseases such as Zika, Ebola, things of that nature. I'm also a commissioned officer in the U.S. Public Health Service, and currently, like I said, stationed at the CDC.
Hello, my name is Siobhan Shorter, and I am class of 2001 as well. And I am an exercise physiologist. I actually wear a few hats, personal trainer as well, and as well as a previous professor at Morehouse College. I currently work for the University System of Georgia, where I oversee all 26 public colleges and universities throughout the state of Georgia, design and exercise programs for their faculty and staff, which is about 10,000 employees.
Good afternoon, guys. My name is Lorenzo Maddox, class of 1997. Yes, 97. I look good, right? 97. My wife and I, my wife is Shamika Maddox right here. We actually met at this school. Just let you know. We actually own a real estate company, William Maddox Inc. We also have been in business for over 15 years with a early childhood education child care facility, which is called Atlanta School of Excellence, and we're located right downtown Atlanta.
As is stated, my name is Shamika Maddox, and I am class of 1998. We are high school sweethearts who started dating in 9th grade here at Stone High School. Stay in school, it's hard work. We don't say it's going to happen for everybody, but we're blessed that God has provided our foundation to be strong. But as you stated, we've been together since 9th grade. Early education, it starts here. So I love education.
Good afternoon. My name is Jermaine Davis. I'm a distinguished engineer at the Home Depot. I graduated Stone Mountain in 1999. Distinguished engineer sounds really fancy, but what it boils down to, I'm responsible for the architecture group of our supply chain infrastructure and our reliability engineers that make sure that stuff is up and running, always be able to get your product. Hello everybody. James Bryant, consultant at Cisco Food Service, and a private chef. I got my own catering business. I graduated from here in 2005.
Adam Young, or Dr. Adam Young. I'm an optometrist or eye doctor. Graduated 2001, so it's been a minute. But yeah, that's me.
Captain Warren St. James. I'm a captain at Endeavor Airlines. We're a subsidiary of Delta. We fly their 76 and 50 seater planes.
Hey, good afternoon. My name is John Williams, class of 2001. Probably the best class ever to come through this school. Anywho, I'm an educator. I've been a teacher for 13 years. My first 7 years was here at Stone Mountain. Did 1 year at Gwinnett, and now I've been in Clayton since 2014. So teach world history.
Hi everyone, my name is Antoinette, and like the couple up front, I met my sweetheart crush here. We are engaged. His name is Cameron Bird. So I am working at Big Brothers Big Sisters in the mentor program, and I believe, if you was in my class, that every single body deserves a mentor. Very, very, very important. You will understand soon. All of us have a mentor, I'm assuming. All of us have a mentor. All of us had someone we leaned on for advice. Your parents won't cut it. They have the role they play. Please, 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 get a mentor. You think you know it all? You do not. Get a mentor. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dominica Biggs. Graduated class of 2008 with Meezy right here, Katrina right here, Aisha right here. We have a few others, but they left. I'm a patient coordinator for Humana. I am basically the middle person between the patient and the pharmacist. That's it.
Hi, I am Aisha Cross. I graduated in 2008. I am a monoclonal production technologist. So what I basically do is I grow cells, and then we harvest them for the antibodies, and we bulk them up and put them into products that go into transplant, transfusion products.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tariq Booker. I graduated class in 2017. I've had the pleasure of being in class with a couple of you. What I do, I wrote a couple children's books on entrepreneurship. I have a skate business here called Skate TL. I sell to a couple of skate shops here in Atlanta, and I'm a real estate agent for Better Homes and Gardens, real estate metro brokers currently.
That's hard to follow up. My name is Corey Parks, graduated class of 2005. I am a recently retired NFL and CFL player, and I currently do sports consulting in DeKalb County with other athletes.
My name is Kristen White. I graduated class of 99. I am a serial entrepreneur in the field of beauty. I own Kristen White Imagery, which provides hair and makeup artists for television, film, celebrity, and event. And I'm told I'm supposed to say this, I was Miss Black USA 2009.
Hello, my name is Bria Mason. I am a data analyst expert at Cox Communications. So whenever you hear this call can be monitored for quality assurance, it is being monitored.
How you doing? I'm Adam Taylor. I class of 2002. I forgot, Lord. What did I do? I pump gas at Circle K. Nah, I'm a system engineer at Turner or AT&T. I'm IT. We do everything visual, audio, like TBS, TNT, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, all that good stuff. I'm tripping. Like, y'all got Windows and I'm tripping. I see Miss Trotter. That's crazy. Anyway.
Class of 2002, that's what we do. My name is Sam Brown. I'm also a 2002 graduate of Stone Mountain High School. I almost said Stavanger State. Graduated a lot, y'all, so school is important to me, but at the same time, I'm currently a combat stress recovery specialist for the Wounded Warrior Project, and that's basically a fancy way of saying that I'm a therapist that works with veterans with PTSD.
Good afternoon, my name is Candace Walker. I'm currently the Crime Lab Director for the Atlanta Police Department.
Hey, how y'all doing? All right, my name is Branford Evans, class of 2010. I do a little thing in music. Started a little label for myself, for my own music, and I'm a motivational speaker. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a United States Marine, Sergeant, Civil Fidelis. I apologize. I'm Brigham Hall, graduated class 2014. We didn't build it, baby.
I'm JJ Kansi, JJ Kansi, class of 2014. I'm a full-time DeKalb County firefighter. It may look confusing, but I'm gonna get to it. Firefighter at Station 15 in Chamblee, and also I'm part of the Georgia Army National Guard, and I'm a military police in the National Guard.
Let's give our panelists a big round of applause. Stone Mountain High School. Y'all make me proud to work here. So let's get started. We have time. We have about 35 minutes to ask our panel questions in regards to life at Stone Mountain when they was here. You know, what made them choose the route that they took? What they like about their job? What made them choose their job? What college they go to if they went to college? Things of that nature. Do I have volunteer? Anybody want to go first? Or do I have to start picking people? Because y'all... Okay, all right. Let me get down here so I can pass the mic. And also, if you have a particular question for one of our panels, please let us know.
How do you guys feel about the Stone Mountain High School?
The question was, how do you like, or what do you think about the new Stone Mountain High School? Is that a particular person? Anybody want to answer, please?
Y'all have a lot of freedom. Y'all get to do a lot of things none of us can do.
Be respectful, come on.
Walking around the school, seeing all the new stuff, the windows and what they've done with the building, is very impressive. They probably don't trust y'all, that's why they don't open it. But anyway, just very impressive because when I was here in 2013, one of the reasons I left was because the county, they didn't provide the funding to do our track. We have been a top 10 program for consecutive years, and we were running on concrete. Same thing, you got the driveway, parking lot. But, you know, since then, they have put so much money into this school. You guys should be proud to go to a place like this. Most definitely.
I absolutely absolutely love walking back in these doors. Not only is some of the older faculty still here, it makes me feel good. You guys are living in the moment. You don't understand. If you guys go back to your elementary, if you guys go back in time, you guys will feel the same thing that we feel. You need to appreciate what you have and respect where we're coming from when we're saying this is so much more different, but the love and the connection, like I cried getting out of my car, I cried, you know, walking, maybe I'm just emotional, but that's what it does to you. That's what it does to you. And right now, I'm gonna call it, you guys are children, so when you guys get up to our age, it's gonna make sense. So stay in your place, do what you have to do, and achieve in life. That's all I ask.
I have a question right here.
Did you know you were going to be doing this job when you were our age?
Pass the mic around.
While I haven't, no, but I did know that I love children and I wanted the best for my neighbor, which is the next person. So you have to figure out what you love and make it a career. One thing, if you don't take anything else from this, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. You'll hear that again.
I knew what I wanted to do when I was a senior. Initially, I wanted to be a pediatrician, and then CSI came out, and I decided that I wanted to be a crime scene investigator. And so I went to school for forensic chemistry and biology, and I've been fortunate enough to be in this career field since then. And so I kind of did know what I wanted to do. I knew that I liked figuring things out. My grandmother said I was nosy, and both of those things work well when you work with law enforcement. So yeah, for me, I did.
Anybody else want to comment on that? Can you please? Yeah, pass the mic down.
So while I was here, there was one class that really inspired me, and that was anatomy and physiology with Mr. Stallworth. So because I enjoyed his class so much, I knew I wanted to go into the healthcare profession. I knew at the time that it was going to be involving helping individuals make a better choice as it pertains to establishing healthy lifestyles. So when I went to school, I was planning on going to school for physical therapy, and things didn't go that route. I started shadowing wound care, and once I got into wound care, I realized I didn't like it. So I had to figure out what else I could do. So from there, that's when I found out about being an exercise physiologist, working with cardiac patients, pulmonary patients, and weight loss surgery patients, and really looking at how I can better provide them with an opportunity to make better choices as it pertains to their food choices, physical activity, financial situations, because those are stressors in our lives that impact our mental and physical well-being. So I would say that particular class inspired me to do what I'm doing today.
Can I piggyback on that question? If you didn't know what you wanted to do when you was in high school, was there anything that kind of piqued your interest, that kind of guided you, whether, okay, well, I'm not gonna go to college right now, I'm gonna go to this career tech program, or I'm gonna go to college or what school I wanna go to? Like, does anything pique your interest, even though you didn't know what you wanted to do?
To the last question about what I liked about Stone Mountain coming here today is that we didn't have a career day when I graduated. So I didn't know that I could have a viable career as a hair and makeup artist graduating. So I went to school and majored in business because I didn't know outside of a cosmetology license that I could really do something with it. Had I known that I could have gone and done an apprenticeship, that I could have gone to cosmetology school, or I could have gone and mentored under somebody and gone straight into set and celebrity work, I would have cut 4 years off my journey. So I would encourage anybody here. I have friends that are celebrity chefs. I have friends that are celebrity trainers that are non-traditional career paths, but require licensing. And so a lot of times we don't understand what licensing is. It's almost as good and sometimes more applicable than a degree, depending upon what your career endeavors are. So if you know, hey, I like doing hair, I like cutting hair. I have a homeboy right now who $450 just for him to line you up.
and he travels all over the world. He's on the Millennium Tour right now. So, you know, non-traditional career paths are awesome. They also have an educational track. Find out about it and do your research.
I would like to say that originally, when I thought about what I wanted to do, I used to say I wanted to do something in social work. But then in the back of my head, I was like, well, I don't really want to do a job that will involve taking somebody's kids away. And so actually from Career Day is how I ended up in my bachelor program, which was public relations and advertising. And while actually, if you ever want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So with that degree, once I graduated, the recession hit. So it was a situation where now I have this degree, but who's going to spend money on advertising or public relations when they're trying to figure out how to keep their doors open? So sometimes situations will put you in a place where it exposes you to different things. And through networking with people that I knew from school, with going to a historically black college, sometimes I'll say it's not just necessarily about the job that you'll learn, it's learning how to be black in America. And for those of you that aren't necessarily black as a minority or a person of melanin skin, sometimes you need to know how to also be a professional in a professional setting and when to be who you are outside of that. So I would think that definitely through school is how I was provided with that opportunity, and an opportunity to actually get into the career that I'm currently in is through people I knew. So networking is also important.
I just wanted to know if, I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna just speak from an athlete standpoint. So I played professionally 8 years, and when I figured out my passion, number one, my passion was sports and playing football. But I also knew that the average career for an NFL player is only 3 years. So I knew that at some point, what I was doing currently was going to end. The hardest transition for me was when I actually thought that I was prepared for it, and when it came. And it came like this. And this when I had to figure out other things that I were passionate about at the time, which was training and helping kids and doing stuff like that. So for any of the athletes that are in here right now, make sure that you're tapping into your resources and networking and talking to the people that are around you, because it's gonna come a time when you are one decision, one play, one anything away from your whole life changing. And I surpassed that through 8 years, but it ended before I even thought it would. Like I was like, I'm gonna play another year, and it came 2017, and I'm sitting back and I'm waiting for a call. And I thought that I was ready, but I wasn't. So just make sure that you're prepared mentally for any of my athletes that are in here.
So I wanted to know if any teacher left a mark on you, and if you think the students should get to know that teacher a little more.
I absolutely love Miss Yila. She is like the most, she loved differently. She's like the grandparent that you just love all the time, but she beats you with a stick. She still got the stick. But coming through the doors and seeing her, it just brought back so many memories, but I just know she never did it out of anger, but to push you to be better. Coach Montero is another one. She don't beat on people's kids no more, but I'm so proud.
For me, it was Lester Adams. Oh, I love Lester. I love Lester. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Adams. But he really opened my eyes to the biology world. So if you ever have a chance to talk to him, if you're slightly interested in science, get with Adams. He will change your world and perspective.
All right, I got a few teachers that really been impacting my life. One is Mr. John Williams, who was my 10th grade history teacher. Ms. Thomas up there was my chemistry teacher. Coach Montero, who's my PE teacher. I don't like you because you did those 6 inches. And another one is RIP to Miss Span Browner, who believed in me. What I can say about Miss Span, my first first 3 years in English. I hated English, didn't try, just passed with a D. When I got to Miss Band's class, she passed me with an A because I actually tried. And one thing you need to know about your teachers is they don't have to be here. Don't take them for granted because they're here for you. And that's all I got to say.
Can you live and work anywhere in the U.S. or can your job be done only in certain places?
So I'll take a stab at it. So being that I work in information technology, like the hub of technology today is Silicon Valley, so that's San Francisco and the Bay Area. I could go out there today and get a job, but the cost of living would make it cost prohibitive. So I can work from home. I don't really have to go into the office, and I absolutely don't have to. I can use video conferencing, I can use telecommunication technology to get there. So for me, I can work from anywhere in the country. I can be in Dominican Republic and still be participating in a conference call and coding and delivering software.
For me, as an entrepreneur, I can work anywhere that I want to work in the U.S. because, again, I own my own company. Even if I choose to pick up and go to another location, students are always going to be available. You guys are always going to have kids, so I will always have a job. And most importantly, I believe that birth through 5 in early education is the most important development of a child. So it's greatly needed.
For myself as a pilot, you can live anywhere you want to in the world as long as you can get to work. Myself, I am based, all of my trips start in New York City. So my trips start and end in New York. I can be based here in Atlanta, but if I was based here, I'd only have 13 days off a month. In New York, I'm getting about 17 to 18 days off a month. So my quality of life is better being based up there. So before work, I can fly free on any airline, so I just catch a flight up there, start my trip. When it's done, I come back.
My job is based in Cincinnati, Ohio, but I work from home. We have three pharmacies. We have one in Cincinnati, we have one in Tempe, Arizona, and Miramar, Florida. So as long as I work at home, I can work remotely anywhere. That's the beauty of having a work at home job without driving traffic.
Okay, so I work for Cox Communications, and we do. Well, that's one thing I could change about the school. That's it now. Well, I work for Cox Communications. We do phone, internet, and cable. Our headquarters is actually based by Perimeter Mall, but we have call centers all over in Phoenix, Virginia, New Orleans, all over. And actually, in 2 weeks, it's sending me to Hampton Roads, Virginia for training. So actually, I can train the management team there.
There will always be crimes that people are committing, unfortunately. So as long as that goes on, I can work anywhere. But my specialty is firearm and tool mark examination. Just a plug for that. There's a nationwide shortage of firearm and tool mark examiners, and you can pretty much work for any law enforcement agency, federal, local, or state. So if you are interested in that, pull me to the side, and I'll let you know how to do it.
All right. I have one question for my man with the 2017. Yes, sir.
Can you describe your typical day at work?
Okay. It depends on what day of the week it is. So, I'm not gonna give you my whole schedule. On a day that I'm off, I'm still on. Like, I work every day. I work every day, honestly. It's just a matter of what I feel like doing that day. So, if I'm not working on a contract or something, like for a house, like going back and forth between a seller, a homeowner, or another agent, then I'll just go skateboarding and I'll go to the park and just chill out, practice. Like an athlete, that's another stream of income for myself. So I skateboard hours on end. Yeah. Can I answer the first question? The very first question. So the very first question was, how do I feel about the new Stone Mountain High School? What I will say is that I enjoy it, partially because
I was a part of the change. When I was here, I was on the Board of Education Committee, and we went out and we talked to the Board of Education about the things that we didn't like about the school, and we helped get these $8 million of renovations that are here today. So if you're really, like, I understand where you're coming from in that discomfort. If you're really uncomfortable with how the school is today, then the Board of Education is right down the street, and they will accept you the first Monday of every month. And it comes off, yeah, no, seriously, like seriously, if you want to change the school here, it really starts with you guys. It comes off so much stronger when it comes from a student, because it comes from somebody like myself. I'm just a guy. Like, I don't go to school. Why do you care so much about high school? But yeah, typical day, I skateboard all day.
I have a question for the gentleman that was athlete. I can't remember your name. I apologize. When you was here at Stonewall High School, and I know they say, you know, it's very difficult to be a professional athlete ball, like what, less than 1% make it to the league. What was your thought process? What was your backup plan? What was your motivation when you was in school? Because I know students have to have certain GPA when they go to college to play ball. Can you talk to some about athletes, whether you're a football player, basketball player, track, volleyball, swimming, wrestler, whatever the case may be?
I think for myself at the time being here, I think we were coming off of John's great season. So it was a lot of pressure behind that. But more so than anything, Coach Montero played a part. But when I actually left to go to Northeastern University, which is in Boston, Massachusetts, the reason that I chose to go to that school was because that was the only school that was going to allow me to play football and major in mechanical engineering. The reason they will only let me do that is because sports is business, all right? And once you understand that, you understand the whole game. And one part of being a student athlete is you have to be a student and an athlete. That's why they put it like that. But they wouldn't really allow me to do that in any other school just due to the fact that I would mess up the team's GPA. Meaning that I failed my first year when I got to school. I failed, and it messes up the team GPA. When you mess up the team GPA, you mess up scholarship ratios. So it's a business, and it's understanding that it's a business. So in that was my backup plan. My backup plan was mechanical engineering. But my focus while I was here was just sports. Honestly, I missed out on a lot of events. I missed out on a lot of proms. I mean, not proms, I didn't miss out on prom. But homecoming dances, a lot of stuff that I made commitments to just for the sport. I missed out on a lot of stuff just because we had a track team that was doing well. I missed out on a lot of stuff just for my commitment. My commitment to myself and my success it superseded a lot of stuff. I missed a lot of social events. And it was just my commitment that I made that I wanted to have success. And then also my mom told me, look, if you want to go to school, you got one or two options. You're going to pay for it yourself, you're going to get a loan. And I got a lot of friends that got huge loans. But my mom couldn't afford it, so I knew I had to use what I had to get what I wanted, which was what I had to do. So that was my mindset. I just geared down, I buckled down, and I made a commitment to myself and to my mom, like, look, I gotta do what I gotta do. So whatever she needed me to do, whether if it be stay up for practice or doing the things that I need to do as far as training, that was my commitment. And then secondly, it was just like making a decision to have a backup plan, but my backup plan, actually, I don't even do it now, which is crazy. But it was just something that I set my mind to. I had a target. And one thing that all of us will be able to tell you up here is that a lot of times the people around you not going to see the target that you're shooting at. And they're going to tell you that the thing that you're shooting at, like, they can't see it, and they're going to say it's crazy. And they might not see the vision, but you have to stay on track and stay doing what you're doing and making sure that you're surrounding yourself with those people who are going to elevate and take you to the next level. It's hard to see right now where you're at because you're socializing, you're having fun. But it was some times like I did not make it to parties, I didn't make it to events and stuff like that that I wanted to go to just because of my commitment and what I had going on. And it paid off in the long run. I would like to go back and go to a couple of them proms and dances, but it's all good because it paid out in the long run.
Careers y'all have keep y'all busy. So did y'all ever have time for y'all friends and fun?
you learn really quickly that this is just a part of life. This right here, high school, is a part of life. I have a type of personality where I'm very nonchalant and cutthroat. If you're not part of my mission, then we have nothing in common at all. Y'all best friend, whoever you guys sit with at lunch, whoever you guys be on Instagram and go to the kitty clubs with, they will not, they will not be your future. They won't be there when you grow up. So choose your friends closely and only surround yourself with people that's gonna be an asset to you, okay? And I have no problem saying that, you know, if I want something that you have, I'm willing to step on you to get it. That's what I want, that's what I get, and you're not part of my future. So you need to analyze yourself and your friends.
For myself, my job gives me a lot of free time. As I said, this month I had 18 days off. Last week I got on a plane, went to Germany, and stayed there for a day, went over to Paris 4 days, and came back. That's what I do with my free time. I travel if I want to, but with my job and my schedule, I can do whatever I want, when I want. Doesn't matter which state. I'll be going. Last year I went to Vegas about 6 times. So you make, I think most people up here, with your free time, you do what you gotta do. Now, in high school, you didn't have as much responsibility. I have a wife and a kid, so even though I'm off a lot of days, I'm doing things with them more. My 2 friends up here, we get together every now and then, but we don't have as much time because we all have families and different obligations to hold.
Yeah, so it depends. I have 4 children, so I don't have time to do anything. To be honest with you. I mean, but you make time. I just came from the mountains with my wife. We did a getaway with some college friends. You make time. You make time to do what you want to do, because you don't, listen to me, you don't want to work. You're going to kill yourself doing that. All right. So I work hard and I play hard. I got 4 kids. Anyways. And then I coach 2 teams, two little league teams. So I mean, you have time now. Like these, like Candace and some, I promise you, every time I see them on Facebook or Instagram, like they're next to some new palm tree that I've never seen them like before. They always vacationing. And I ain't gonna lie, I get jealous about that, for real. Like in my soul. I don't really mad about that.
And so I'll piggyback on that to say, definitely I remember one of the classes I was speaking to today, they were like, oh, so you're a social worker, so you probably work a lot, huh? My work is fun, y'all. Actually, one trip I went on, I was swimming with the manatees in Florida, and we went kayaking, and I think when I flew back, I went to a concert, and then I went to Cuba maybe a week later. So it's definitely about that work-life balance, but again, I don't have kids. It's just me. So I spend a lot of that time spending money on myself.
Anybody like that question?
Hey, real quick, I'm a teacher, so you talk about free time. I mean, we get out a little bit after y'all, and weekends we're off, summer we're off, right? Spring break we just had. When it's snow days, we're praying in front of TV just like y'all, right? So, you know, hey, we're not lying, right? But so, you know, when I was looking at a possible career choice, one thing that was important to me was to be able to have a job where you work Monday through Friday, you're off in the evenings, you have your weekends to yourself and things like that. So being a teacher really gives you a lot of time to hang out with friends if you choose to do that. Now, the thing about hanging with friends is as you get older, you get more business about yourself. So that time is not always available, because even as a teacher, yeah, I'm off in the weekends in the summer and things like that, but we gotta have other jobs to keep, you know, income coming in, all right? Because if you have all that time, you do get a check for like the summer, but what are you gonna do with that time? Time is money, guys, and you can use that time to have another business, to do something that you enjoy doing and get paid to do it. So yeah, you do get a lot of free time, but you tend to take that free time and try to make it constructive, if that makes sense.
Okay,
So as I stated, we're entrepreneurs, but we believe in my husband's motto to my kids and for our family we live by. You do what you have to do now and you do what you want to do later. And we believe in creating memories because sometimes I know a lot of my classmates are not here. Some of them have passed. So I believe in creating memories. Yes, I own my own business. I work in my own business. I work hard in my business, but I have fun. I travel a lot. We have made it an agreement that we travel at least 12 times a year, no matter what. So I believe in instilling that into my kids because you lose so many memories just by working so hard. You have, yes, you need to have a savings, you need to have investments, you need to do these things, but you got to live life. But you got to work hard and then live life. So don't think it's all about play. We work hard, but we also enjoy our memories that we create.
Thank you very much.
And just to piggyback on that, as an entrepreneur, I wasn't always an entrepreneur. I came from corporate as a research scientist, and I worked. I had the mentality that I had to work all the time. And it got to a point where I was working and my body was just shutting down. Physically, I was passing out. Nobody knew what was going on, and I went to the doctors, had a whole bunch of tests done, and they said there's nothing wrong. EKG, heart, everything, they said it was normal. They were like, you're just stressed out. And it was that point when I knew that I had to take care of myself. And self-care has now become such a big thing for myself that I schedule my fun. And you only have 24 hours in a day. We always talk about time management. You can't manage time. It is what it is. We have 24 hours in a day. So what are you going to do with that 24 hours? I schedule my fun time. I schedule times that I go and hang out with my friends. And sometimes, yes, it's a sacrifice that you may have to give up some fun to do things that you need to do. But you want to also make sure you get that self-care because you can't be a success if you're unhealthy. So taking care of yourself is so important.
This question is for the gentleman in the armed forces in the back. There's a few students, such as myself, going to basic training for the military in the summer. So what advice would you give to us
On a more personal level, because I actually went to basic training right out of high school. I graduated like May 19th. I went to basic probably like 3-4 days after that. So you just gotta be motivated. It's like you gotta have confidence, and you might not be physically ready, but you gotta be mentally ready. You gotta tell yourself, I'm gonna get through it. You gotta tell yourself, no matter what, I'm gonna push through. And you gotta think about what drives you, your motive, what supports you. So the way that I got through it better was when I went, I had a grandfather that was sick. I was the only one that, I never had any family that went through armed forces. So that was my motivation to say, I never had anybody to do this. Let me be the first to do it. I got people counting on me. I got little cousins. I got little sisters. I had people looking up to me. Got people back in Stone Mountain looking up to me. People I had just graduated with, didn't have plans, didn't know what they were doing. And I knew when I go do this a week later after I graduate, by the time I come back later on this year, I'm gonna be a totally different person. I'm not gonna be the same 17-year-old that just graduated, but they are. You know what I'm saying? So my motive was more of the negative stuff that was going on to help push me through instead of just, I want to do this, I want to do that. I was like, man, I know a lot of people that don't know what they want to do. I want to be the first. I want people to look up to me. And that was my job. So while I was there, when they yelling in my face, you know, I just had to keep thinking to myself, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. But while you're there, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to make sense. You'll yell at you for stuff that you didn't do. 9 times out of 10, you'll get in trouble for it, what everybody else did. But it's a part of the process to break you down and build you back up. So in the end of it, you can look at it and say, wow, you know what I'm saying, I wear this uniform, and at first I didn't know I was gonna do it, but it's really worth it. So it's just about the motivation, the personal confidence, and just to strive.
Just to answer your question, what like kept me going through boot camp was I always thought to myself like, why am I here? Like, what's my drive or whatever? So that always kept me pushing. Like, why? I was like, y'all understand, man. When I was in these, when y'all see, man, Miss Thomas will tell you, I was a knucklehead, man. was a knucklehead, man. So it was like always like would start stuff and never finish it. But once you go to boot camp, Marine Corps, hey, you gonna finish that. You see what I'm saying? So it was like it always kept me pushing. Like always don't forget the reason why you grind.
Thank you.
All right, I'm not currently in the military, but I work for a veteran service organization. So my advice to you, from just what I know of people that are out of the military, from what they wish that they would have told themselves, definitely for one thing, you need to save your money. Save your money, invest your money, because a lot of the things that you go through is going to be based on merit, and also based on like your credit score. If you're trying to buy a house and certain things like that. So while you're going to get a lot of opportunities thrown at you, but at the same time you need to be smart with them, because some people get injured just in basic training. So then it's your opportunity to prepare this great career, but you now got to look at my what next. So just definitely know it's going to be like, yeah, a big part to some degree, but at the same time, this is your career. This is not just your job. So be responsible in the fact of what you're doing with your money and actually the things that you do, because you can go and get promoted and then get bust down just because of a mistake that you made. So just be aware of this is your career and not just an opportunity.
What are some things that you dislike about your jobs?
What are some things you dislike about your job? Microphone up there. And I have to be mindful, ladies and gentlemen. We got a guy at 1:30. It's now 1:18. So we're going to have one more question, then we're going to try to wrap up, okay?
So I wouldn't say this is a big dislike, but something to think about, I'll say, is when I chose my career path, there were a few things that I thought about. I didn't want a job where I had to dress up every day. As you see, I am dressed up today. That was not the plan. I had to do a leadership presentation this morning. So that's one. The other thing is flexibility is really, really important. So that was the question I was asked earlier about flexibility. So I get an opportunity to travel in my profession, and that's one thing that's really important. But there was a time where I was not given that opportunity, so I had to make a change and a shift. I am not a morning person, so if you are not a morning person, try not to commit to that. So think about those things, I would say. So mine are probably very small and minute, but it does have an impact on your well-being. So think about what type of environment you want to be in. I love being around people, so me being in a cubicle would not work for me. So think about that as you think about those career professions that you decide to go into.
I would say I don't like the politics of my job. I'm more of a direct person and somebody that's pretty authentic. So the politics and the bureaucracy that goes with working in government, I don't appreciate. But I also don't appreciate the fact that there are not a lot of people of color in forensics. Because just like you have some rogue officers that do things they shouldn't do, you have biased forensic scientists that do the same thing. And since forensics is supposed to be objective, we need more people who are able to go to meetings and say, this sounds really crazy and it sounds like you are targeting a certain group of people and not just me. So that's what I'm like.
Okay, so these ladies said the political correct answers. My answer is I don't like my coworkers. There's some coworkers where when they're on vacation, I'm like, yes. But what I've learned is you have to act. You have to be an actor or actress. You can't show them your true self because you don't want to be blackballed. And that can be easily done in these companies. You don't want to be seen as the one who's always the negative one or always the one that always caused trouble. So when I see that one coworker that I just don't like, I smile and, hey, how's your day going? Okay, awesome. I go the other way.
So for myself, it's two simple things. One, I don't like, I can't have facial hair. Mustache is about as best you're gonna get in the aviation industry. They're very old fashioned and you can't have it. So I walk around most of the time looking like I'm 13 years old.
All right, definitely from my side, the instability. It's a very big misconception in sports, especially with football. There are no guaranteed contracts. So the values that you guys see on SportsCenter about what y'all think somebody is making, they're not making it. All right, that's the first thing. The politics, never like the politics. Never like the politics of the game. Every person that you think is playing, that's not the best person playing. All right. Ooh, there's a lot I can say. NFL stands for not for long. I'm laughing. I'm dead serious. We use that in the locker room all the time. It stands for not for long. Not for long. And ooh, it's a couple. It's a lot, but I'm gonna leave it.
So, majority of my client base is famous millionaires. I work with a lot of celebrities and I work on a lot of production. So, though it's glamorous and it's wonderful and it sounds amazing, the one thing that I do not like about it is attitudes. Also, it is a myth that when you start dealing with celebrity work that you get paid, they actually pay the least. Because when they get to a certain bracket of fame, they do not have to pay for anything. So my favorite clients, people ask me like, well, who's your favorite celebrity? None of them. My favorite client are my consistents. The people that have been with me for years, they constantly get the same thing, they're easy, they trust me in what I do. Celebrities are, not all of them, but a lot of them are just, like you said, keeping it 100, are just pains in the backside. Like, oh my God, and sometimes they treat you like service workers because I am in the service industry. I love it. I travel all over the world and I work with my best friends. So my job never feels like work because I love what I do. But the one thing I do not like is them attitudes. They can get left at the door.
I'm speaking for the teachers.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. Do your thing.
What we don't like about the job. Well, for one, we don't like to come here to educate y'all and y'all give us y'all butt to kiss because somebody pissed you off outside of my classroom and you won't bring it in here and make me deal with it. My problem is not your problem and your problem not my problem. Okay? I don't like that. Alright? No, I'm just kidding. But
that's the truth.
Well, it is the truth. It is the truth. Yeah, we don't like to deal with that stuff. Politics can be politics, okay? We kind of see that happening a little bit. And the grade paper part a lot of times. I'll tell you a secret. I ain't gonna tell them the secret. You know, sometimes we don't grade them all. But the trick is you don't know which ones we are or we ain't gonna grade, so you gotta do all of them. Okay? So that's how that works. Alright? So don't be trying to guess which one we gonna grade or which one we ain't gonna grade. But that's probably the part that we hate the most is sitting at that computer putting them daggone numbers in. Back to back to back, every class doing it. Alright? Just pass everybody? It's not that easy. Everybody's not putting in the work to do that. Alright? School is really about effort. Alright? And if you haven't learned that yet, I hope you learn it real quick because it's about how much effort you put in, how much you care, how much you want to be successful. Okay? If you're not showing the effort, then we're not going to give you a grade. That doesn't work like that. Okay?
One thing I don't like about what I do is, like we said, politics. Some people can be really slow moving. As a college kid, starting off with no money, it's like when you're trying to get a transaction done and you don't have a lot of money, it's like, hey, I need you to work. But some people just don't work fast enough. What I'll also say is another thing that I don't like is that people don't pay you initially. Nobody pays you initially. Nobody pays you to not work. You really have to. I love it because it teaches me how to increase my work ethic. But at the same time, there is no handout in my games. They're all hard-working games that you have to make sacrifices. And another thing, I don't like making sacrifices. I don't like, no, seriously, I don't like having to read books. But I read books because I understand the value in what I learned from them when it comes to financial literacy. That's things that you have to know. I don't like not spending time with my friends. I don't like not, like seriously, I don't, yeah, I mean, of course I love what I do, obviously. I choose what I do because I want the freedom with my time, you know? But, and actually this is kind of going back to that other question as well. Part of our job is networking. So part of our job is
making friends and making relationships. So that's something that we can make fun out of. When it comes to doing business, you do business with people that you like. So part of it, that's the fun part, is like making new friends. You know, everybody, all of your friends aren't going to be beneficial to you, but there are new friends. Not to say it like cut them off, but seriously, sometimes it really is just politics and people slowing your processes down. So I think that's what I can take.
Thank you.
My question's for the pilot. Is your job stressful, and how do you deal with that? And that's just, how do you deal with it? The question is for everyone. But I want to know if the pilot is stressed out by his job.
So there's a small joke in the pilot world where there's captains and first officers. Captains have 4 bars, FOs, first officers have 3 bars. The FO's bars stand for not my problem. As a captain, everything lands on our shoulders, so everything that happens on the plane, it is up to us. It falls on our shoulders no matter what. To me, it's not stressful. I have a very carefree attitude. If you do your job, then I don't have anything to worry about. I'm more of a monitor. So, I moderate and manage the cockpit and things that's going on. So I know what I'm doing. I hold the person next to me accountable for what they're doing. And if something starts to go bad, I see it, I correct it, and I move about life. There's very few issues that can stress you out. If something goes wrong in the air, you can't pull over on the side of the cloud and talk to somebody. So we have a book called QRH, pull it out, read it, tells you what to do. If you can't figure it out, go land. Figure it out on the ground. But there's very few times that it can't get stressful. You just have to plan ahead.
I guess part 2 of that question was, by show of hands, or not show of hands, how do y'all deal with y'all stress at work? I know because a lot of our students here, that was just part of your question, right? A lot of our students here, when they get stressed out, they lash out at the adults in the building. Who do y'all get to lash out at? Exactly. I just want to make that point, but you can answer if you want.
Hey, from a teacher's perspective again, listen, one thing that helps us with the stress is, and any good teacher know this, you don't know what the kids go home to. And when you have an understanding of that, it's not as stressful. It makes you a little more patient, all right? Because there's stories, you know, that some people sit right next to you, you probably wouldn't even believe their story if they told you the whole thing, you know? And so being a teacher, you understand those kind of things. And so, you know, yes, it's stressful. It's probably one of the most stressful jobs in the world, but when you know that you're doing it from your heart, it's not as stressful as it seems. I forgot about one thing, sorry about that.
Don't move, please. Don't move. Don't move. Don't be rude like that. Have a seat.
So
have a seat, please. I'm sorry, have a seat, please. Thank you. I won't put you in class.
As a pilot, the only thing I did forget, I don't know how I did, but you have, every year you have to do what's called recurrent training. I actually go up to Minneapolis tomorrow for my recurrent training. It's a 3-day event. We have grounds this month, sims next month. But it's a test at the end, and if you fail it, your career goes down the toilet. So that is the only stressful part, but if you know your information, it's not a problem.
All right, thank you. We got to let it go. We have one question, I'm sorry, which I think was a really good question. One of the students asked, how was your mentor impactful for you to be where you are now?
Wouldn't be here. We'll be somewhere probably in jail, but, you know, it's really popular.
So I worked 10 years at Spelman College developing health and wellness programs. So when you were talking about stress, that's actually what I did. I try to create an environment and culture in the work setting that eliminates that stress for employees. But my mentor actually saw something in me when I was in a situation where I was ready to grow. So he said to me, it's not that you have reached a glass ceiling, it's that the glass ceiling has been lowered on you. So meaning, I had not reached my full potential. So he actually was sending me jobs for me to apply for. And when I got an actual job offer, at the time, he said, you are going to take this job, and if you don't, I'm going to call them and tell them that you're going to take this job. So that's the power of mentorship. And if it wasn't for that mentor, I would not be where I am today. So as I continue to grow in my profession, he constantly pushes me in travel and pushes me to be better. But I also add to that, in addition to mentorship, you also want to find sponsorship. So sponsorship is somebody that is very similar to what you do, which can be a friend that pushes you to do better. I bought my first home at 24. And the reason why I was able to do so was because my best friend bought hers at 23. And when I saw that she did it, I knew that I could do it. So that's what sponsorship is. So not only find a mentor, but also find a sponsor as well.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for being attentive. And I'd like to give us a big round of applause for our panel. We also have graduates that sit in the audience, 1988, 89, 08, we got more people. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, students.
Listen up for directions.
Missing the students on this side. Would you